Am I a bad person if the first thing I do when I walk into a hotel room is check the vents, search for hidden cameras, or whisper into the silence just in case someone's watching me through a lens? Am I paranoid when I grip my keys in between my fingers like a weapon when I'm walking home, or imagining how fast I'd need to run? Or maybe if I don't look back one time, the hands of a man may grab my mouth and pull me into the dark. Am I a bad person for covering up in front of men, not because I want to, but because I know what happens when I don't? For adjusting my shirt when the air gets cold, rubbing my arms across my chest, not out of modesty, but out of fear. Fear that a natural reaction from my body might be seen as an invitation. Or even crossing my legs so I don't send the wrong signal. For changing seats if a man sits too close to me. Am I a bad person for blocking the man who once called me mature for a 14-year-old? The one who defended me against sexist trolls in video games, only to later reveal he was just like them. The one who pretended to be someone I could trust, but tried to groom me instead. Am I the bad person for staying silent when a group of men catcalled me at work, while little boys followed their lead, learning exactly how to treat women? Am I a bad person for flipping off a man who followed me home 3 times in his car? Or for saying no when a man offered me and my friends money to get in his car multiple times and he wouldn't listen? Am I a bad person when I get 10 missed calls from my dad while I'm working out? Not because he doesn't trust me, but because he knows what men are like, and I can't even work out in peace. Am I wrong for carrying something sharp in my bag? Not because I want to hurt anyone, but because I've been conditioned to believe that a man might hurt me first. Am I a bad person for not having male friends? Because too many times it's ended up with them trying to sleep with me, when I just wanted safety and respect. Am I dramatic when I reject a man politely, and suddenly I'm a slut, a bitch, or on my period? Or when I fake a phone call in the Uber, just to feel like I have some control, in case he locks me in the car and drives the wrong direction? Am I a bad person for screenshotting the profile of men who leave disgusting comments on my posts and sending them to their wives, daughters, and families? What about being nervous when a male teacher asks me to stay after class? Or when a man compliments me too many times at work? Or maybe when I panic a little when a stranger just wants to talk to me? Because I've learned the hard way that sometimes just talking isn't the end of it. Am I broken for not feeling safe in public or around men? Or am I just aware? Because the truth is, I don't hate men. I just fear what they are capable of, and how often that fear is dismissed, ignored, or mocked. I've been taught my whole life to make men feel comfortable, but no one has ever taught men to make me feel safe. And if this makes me dramatic or cold or a man hater, I'd rather be called all of those things than to be silent. Or even worse, be a statistic. And this is what it's like. We are tired. We live in fear. We don't know when the day it's going to happen to us. This is why we speak up. And I'm 100% entitled to be speaking about this, making a video about this, because as a matter of fact, I am a woman, a young girl who has experienced things that no one should even have to. And this is only just a small fraction of it. That is nowhere near all of it. And that's just my experiences. There's women who are younger than me, more grown than me, who have experienced a lot more worse than me. Even women oppressed in countries that, we aren't educated about it on because it's not affecting us. There are women being oppressed in different countries who are younger than me going through much worse. I'm entitled to speak about this because I'm a woman who changes the way I act, the way I dress, the way I walk and live because of the actions of men who aren't held accountable. And one day I'll raise children. Boys and girls. I refuse to raise them in a world like it is today. Like, it's actually unbelievable. This generation is broken. If we don't start making a change, if the bad men aren't going to change, it's only going to get worse. So yes, I'm going to speak about it because who else is going to? And if this makes you uncomfortable, then it should. And if you're a woman watching this and you're thinking to yourself, I don't live in fear, well, I challenge you to walk home without looking behind you, looking around you, around your surroundings, and without worrying about anything in your surroundings. Walk home. See if you don't live in fear. But guess what? You can't even do that. Why? Because men prey on vulnerable women. You have to make sure your stride is just precise, confident, cautious. Walk with your head up, eyes scanning around you, not slouched down on your phone or with shoulders like you're scared. You're huddled up in this little ball because that's how men pick their next victim. And we really got to worry about how we walk to not be the next victim. You probably don't even realize it because you're conditioned. You don't even realize that. It's in your subconscious. Oh, I got to walk like this just in case no man thinks that, like, I'm the one he can choose as his next victim. Oh, if I'm slouched down too much, if I appear to be like a little nice woman that will obey to what he says, then I will be his next victim. It's not even paranoia at this point. It's actually survival. That's how we survive. Now, obviously, there's so much broken with this world today, so much going on, but I can only speak on my experiences and what I know and what affects me. I'm a woman, so I can speak on this. I can't speak on all the struggles men face because it's not like I know everything about them, but I do know how it affects me. I got a message from a guy the other day and he was like, do you think men should be banned from childcare centres? And obviously that is a big issue going around in Australia right now. A lot of pedophiles, young men are being caught for sexually assaulting young kids, giving them STIs, all of that. Thousands of kids are being tested. I was like, we already disclosed this. Like, we went over this. They should be banned. And he's like, yes, I agree. But women should be banned from the military. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I just wanted to hear what he had to say. I said, give me a good enough reason as to why to ban women. And I asked, because they rape men and assault them. He said they have periods. They act with and under emotion. They have intimate relationships with other dudes on the base. Distraction from the mission, that's what he says. They can't physically carry weight due to body genetics. And here's what I said. And think about it. Who exactly is being harmed from these things? He said, women, ? That's what you do. You put the question back onto them. He thinks women are being harmed from these things. They're not being harmed, okay? And I said, no one is being harmed because they aren't real problems. It's a minority. We focus on the larger demographic here. And that is that the abuse comes from men in all workplaces. And the reason why it's an issue is because it affects another person. Women having periods doesn't affect another person. It's not in their control. When men do have control, that's why they need to be banned. Well, not banned, but I mean like the ones that are doing that need to be stood down and taken out. Women don't need to be taken out because they aren't the problem. I was like, after that, oh, what? No response? Like, you're on ChatGPT probably thinking about a response, and he said he was actually speechless because what I said was correct. Here's the thing. I don't know how he got that mindset, but sometimes men just don't understand, and it's not necessarily their fault because, you know, the world has taught them to think about women like that. Like, he said everything in that message was something like not necessarily in women's control. Them having periods, them having genetics of not being able to carry a certain weight, that can be worked around, and it's not in their control. Women being emotional and not being able to work with emotion, that is a very absurd thing to say. I don't think they are emotional in the military. I don't get why these issues affect men. That's why I reframed the question. That's why I reframed the question and asked him, but think about it. Who do you think these problems affect? And he's like, women. Yeah, exactly. They're not affecting men anyways. And I also asked some guys how many times they've been catcalled. And it's actually a surprise that they haven't been catcalled more than 1 to 3 times in their life. They did say, though, that they've experienced proximity flirting where another person is just getting a bit too close into their personal space, which is understandable, but there's a very big difference between the experiences. And touching on that military and childcare thing again, it's crazy how skewed their mindsets are when it comes to how they perceive women versus men. The men in childcare, they are affecting children and women and their families and all that. It's like a ripple effect. It's affecting all of them. Whereas women with these problems of having periods, of not being able to carry weight due to their genetics or being emotional, these are problems that could possibly affect themselves, but it's not affecting the men, right? Here's where the issue lies. Like, the men think that women for women being like this, it's a huge problem. It only becomes a problem if it's affecting another person. He was left speechless, and that just shows, like, no one's ever told him that before. No one has explained it to him like that. And this is what young boys are going through today. They are getting information from fuck knows where, and they don't even know who the fuck they are. Like, they don't know their identity. They're being told by men online, oh, this is how you act to be a man. This is what you gotta do. You gotta get as many women as you can. You gotta have money. You gotta be rich. You gotta have status. No. I think to be a man, it's much more than that. Much more complex than that. And there's definitely a masculinity crisis. The male loneliness epidemic, I don't even know what that is, but it's definitely potentially real. But I reckon it's the effect of what the bad men are doing in this world. And honestly, I feel sorry. I feel very sorry for the good men in this world, because they do not deserve the backlash that they are receiving from women just because they're a man. Like, the reason why, I feel sorry for the good men is because women instantly think they're a bad person because of what the bad men have conditioned them to believe, because we can't tell the difference between good and bad anymore, because the bad outweighs the good at this point. And I was on TikTok live the other day, like, I literally was just on there for 30 seconds. I asked, just as a joke, why am I still stuck in the Matrix? And this guy, he must have been, like, I don't know, bit stoned, but he was like, because no man has ever treated you right or treated you the way you deserve to be treated, and there's very few good men left in the world. And I really hope you can find a good man, because there's not going to be many left. And that what prompted me to make this video, because I think I just needed someone to say that to me, because I'm actually so fucking confused. I'm very confused. I'm sure everybody else is confused, but yeah, I feel sorry for the good men, because there's a minority of them who aren't being seen. And whenever they speak out about these things, they're just shut down immediately, because the larger demographic over here, the bad men, they are the ones who take the spotlight from the good men, because there's just so many of them, and it's outweighing it, and there's just no balance whatsoever. And now women have to be very vigilant with who they're, involving themselves with, because how can you identify the difference between the good and bad? Yeah. And the next thing I wanted to speak about is men in relationships who I fully understand when you want your woman to cover up, and when you don't want her to go out partying, when I know you're just trying to protect her, and I 100% agree with that. I know you know what it's like in the scary world out there. I know you know how men think. You're just trying to protect her, but sometimes you just got to not cross the line in between protection and control. Right? You just want to stay kind of balanced. You don't want to be too controlling, because that's where issues arise. And women, you just got to understand, he's just there to protect you, but if it does get too controlling, that's definitely a red flag, and you need to communicate with him and talk to him and let him know what's going on. All right? And men, explain to your woman why you are doing what you're doing. Just say to her, I don't trust guys, I don't trust when you're around guys, because I know I am one. I know what they can be like. I want to protect you. I want to make sure that my woman is protected, because I don't want to. It's better to be safe than sorry, all right? End of story. Just explain it. Be very polite about it. Just spit out your boundaries then and there. If they break it, gone. Break up. There's no point wasting your energy into something that's not going to follow your rules, but definitely do not cross the boundary in between protection and control. There are two different things. And even for the good men out there, I can understand how frustrating it may feel for you right now. Maybe even just seeing, like, all these new news articles about, oh, this man just raped a 14-year-old girl. This man has been caught for that. Domestic violence, sexual assault. Must be so frustrating for you to just see this and think, am I really that bad? No, you're not. And, you know, these are issues that are obviously affecting you and leaving you confused, but it's not your fault that the actions of the bad men are kind of falling onto you because you're getting the backlash, as women may have these warped views that you're not a good person. I saw what this man did that I instantly think you're a bad person, so I gotta be cautious of you. It's not your fault. And it's something that the world needs to work together. It's just going to get worse. I honestly don't know how we're going to fix it. I think men need to do a lot of work. They need to have better parents. We need men to stop being defensive and start being responsible. And to stop raising boys in silence and shame. To stop thinking that they're not allowed to express their emotions. They're not allowed to feel. And to let them know that they can speak up when things are going south. They're allowed to speak their feelings, okay? And what else needs to be happening is we need the good men to speak loudly. We just need like an influx of good men to teach these boys, mentor them, do everything. We don't need the red pill content. Andrew Tate, any red pill content creator out there, that Kurt guy, I don't even know who the fuck he is. There's so many more. I just don't get involved in it because I don't really care. Boys, you don't need to be watching these guys just to feel something, can just feel a bit of purpose. You can find that through so many other better ways. Like, I'm not a boy, so I can't tell you what to do, but there's so many better ways you can, like, I don't know, become better. Read more books, talk to older people, ask them what they've been through in their life. They have very good stories to share. Talk to some older boys, you know, like men who have been through a lot and, you know, got to where they are now, like in a very good place. Talk to them. You know, you don't have to be in such a rush to find your identity. It's definitely something that takes a long time. You just got to just have patience and learn and grow. It's very difficult to navigate through life as a boy, I must say. Well, I'm not a boy, but I definitely agree that as a boy, it's very difficult to navigate through life. You know, you're expected to show up in so many different ways. Don't worry about girls either. You need to have some self-control. Just start focusing on yourself. Just focus on you. We also need to protect the vulnerable and hold the dangerous accountable, all right? If you know a mate, if you know someone who's done something wrong in their life, you hold them fucking accountable. You report them, right? You report them. The more, you know, you males, the more men start doing that, they'll be like, oh, I don't want to do that in front of my mate because he's going to report me. Like, you know, I feel like boys live to impress each other. And once they find out that what they're doing isn't impressing their mates, they may begin to stop because they seek validation from each other. When you show your friend that what they're doing is not right, they may just stop. And most of all, we need to stop acting like fear is normal. We get told by the policies, school is a safe place, going to work is a safe environment, being in public is a human right to feel safe. We don't feel safe. I haven't felt safe since I was 10 years old. So you really think like the policies mean anything when there's a huge problem there. Anyways, I just felt like I need to say something because it's just been something that's been on my mind lately with everything that's going on. I just need answers because I feel like change needs to be made before things get worse. And this whole issue is affecting good men and women and children and all of that. So, yeah. Overall, I just feel like we need to start stepping up as young leaders. Like, I mean, anyone can be a leader, but I feel like everyone's voice matters. Everyone's opinion matters. If you have a story, you share it because we are this generation. Like, we are the people that the younger kids are looking up to. Like, if you've got kids that are getting advice from people who don't know what the fuck they are saying, how do you think that's going to affect them? It's going to warp their malleable mindset. It's very dangerous, and social media is one of the most powerful tools to brainwash people. Any sort of, yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching, and I really hope you just sit on this and comment something if you have any questions, or just comment comment it below, and I'll answer you and I'll listen to you. Just share your opinion, because your opinion matters, and I feel like everyone is entitled to their own opinions.